Let's make sure it's recording. Okay, it's good. Hi, everybody. So this is our meditation for One Heart Planetary meditation. We're going to dive into ourselves. We're going to reconnect to that part of ourselves that is connected to the divine source. And after we connect, we're going to connect with the divine source into one another's energy field. And from the point of unity, we're going to create a matrix, I would say it's a energy field or a matrix or a sacred geometry field in our collective group that we are here. And we're going to bring in other dimensional beings from the positive realms of angelic or the ETs that are working on the positive side of the force, and they're willing to help us to give us a telepathic communication during this process that we are going through. So it's going to be very exciting time, and everything is like planting a seed. We are planting a seed right now with our connecting of our hearts and our connecting of our souls together and creating this sacred geometry matrix. And once we hold the vision of where we are going and where we want our planet to go, which is, I believe for everybody is heaven and earth. We are all, that's what we strive for, and that's what we truly want to experience in this reality, and we're going to transform our reality. So if we are have a belief and enough faith in ourselves and the power of the source within us, as Christ said, we can move mountains, and we can not only move mountains, we can change the reality of what is happening with our consciousness. So it's through the power of intention and knowingness and belief that you can change the reality, not only for yourself, but for all other sentient beings in divine order of life, because the divine order is something that we are all striving to get to, or to reconnect, I would say, because there was a disconnection time. So it's, if it is on the highest good of the divine order of sentient beings, and up all to the levels of the 12th council and the first council, which is the Christhood, and beyond the Christhood, which is the sourceness of oneness, of beingness, of knowingness, of one love, and the true aspect of the true essence of creation, which is within every fabric of time, space, and it's within the fabric of time, space, dimension, and void. So even if you go through the void, there is a part that the source is still in the void, but it cannot be seen because it holds the void together. So as I was saying, we can move the mountains, we can change the reality, and once you create the seed is going to grow, and it's going to bring other people that want to come into that greater vision, because they get attracted to it. They get that vision is so powerful and it's so sentient, and it has a divine order when it's within its magnitude, that it's gonna create a light swastika. They call it the light swastika, which rotates and from it's counterclockwise. It has a counterclockwise rotation, and once that keeps rotating on the outer regions of the swastika, you will have smaller swastikas that they do actually, the outer parts rotate clockwise, and the inner part rotates counterclockwise. So that's why the swastika rotates in a counterclockwise manner. So all the 4 people that are here, we're gonna go into our our hearts, and all the people that are gonna tune in the recording, they can do the same, and they can join this energy field that we're gonna create. And we're gonna slowly bring our attention from our head and eyes to our nose to the mouth. And then we're gonna slowly slide down, go into our throat, and then from the throat, go into the upper part of the chest, and keep going down till we'll see a doorway on the back of our hearts. And this is where the Christ is sitting, and this is where Christ is pointing at his heart, saying, this is the way to go in. And then you got to see a doorway, and it has stairs that you can walk through, and you will enter this multidimensional void of space and its beauty, its magnificence, which has violet light. It comes from the ether and the void, and it emanates violet light. And you will go into that center to explore your knowingness of who you are. And then with our intention, all four of us will connect energetically. We'll connect energetically. There's no time and space. Everything exists simultaneously in all dimensions, spaces, and time and realities. Thus, by connecting, we we are feeling the oneness within ourselves. And as we gather here and sitting in the unity and co-creation that we are, and there's one more person, I believe it was a bit Ross, so um, you can join as well in this. You don't want to sit outside. So Ross, just extend your field, or Whitney, if you are with somebody, extend your field to that person. That way that person can join. Because this is a place of unity, thus the only way to be in the circle is to be in the place of unity. Okay, yeah, it's all good. So now other person are joining and joined. And then we're gonna do the same thing, ask them to go slowly down from the mind to the heart. There's a doorway which the Christ is standing and is pointing to that doorway. You walk through the stairway into the center of your being, and we reconnect back as one being. There is no duality. We are all here for one purpose, and as a result, we interconnect. And see in front of you a whole galaxy. Not only it carries the Milky Way galaxy, it carries all the galaxies in all dimensions and forms, which it will create its own structure which looks like a galaxy. And we are around it, we are holding the space for this galaxy to move into its new potential. And now from the point of unity with the source, that you are source and you are Christ, with the belief and knowingness and with the power of the tree, which creates the seed to reconnect back to the source. And those who join later, which will create a line, it's like it's an arm. So from the triangle, the three arms are created, and that three arms will rotate and rotate and rotate. And within its field, it will create the light swastika. So we'll see in the center of the galaxy, which represents the white swastika. And thus, from the point of infinite time and space, we travel down from the outer regions of this galaxy. We go through the energy fields, and we traveled through many different galaxies, different colors, shapes, and sizes. And because it's a lot of fun traveling around, so we'll travel for 3 to 4 minutes to enjoy, traveling through different galaxies, find our soul families, find the people that we incarnated with in many different lifetimes in many different planets. We'll find those parts. So I'll give you a moment to reflect and go deep within to find a part of yourself from the outer limits of this reality. 1, 2, 3. Now we'll wait for, you go for 3 minutes into this. So as we move through the different dimensions and we come down, and there are so many, interconnected galaxies and universes, and we travel through all of them, we'll come to a point where this galaxy and this star system is, and we see that there is a point where you want to enter from the source, and there is a wall, which basically this was a point in creation when we decided to separate this part of ourselves, just create this connection. So in order for you to come to this dimension and to this planet and incarnate into this galaxy, the condition was that you had to forget that you are your Christhood, your godlyhood, your divineness to yourself. You had to forget completely that you are the creator of all realities and has been forever and ever and ever for eternity. So you, in order to come to this reality, you had to go through the wall and cut the cord through your navel. And once you cut the cord, you and on the top layers you have a lot of light, you have a lot of knowledge, but as you come down and your frequency and vibration slows down, you began to become denser and denser and denser and denser as you come to the 6th, 5th, and 4th, to the 3rd reality. And you went to the monoatomic state of being, which is being into the oneness in one point in time. So as you journeyed down through all the dimensions and forms, you came through a wall of separation, and you become denser and denser and denser and denser. You came into this reality, creating a point. And when you were a point, you were sitting by yourself, pretty much bored because you were separated from the source, but there was this dark space which separated your essence to the true infinite realms of possibilities, which is outside. So you created only one possibility here, and through that one possibility that you created, you learn, you become separated, thus created one being that is being bored of its own existence because it forgot its power, it forgot its glory, it forgot all the magics that it has because it created all the universes and everything. And as you are sitting in that form, you decided how I can recreate out of myself a new reality. Thus, you created another point. You bilocated yourself into 2 points. And from that 2 point, you connected the 2 point, you created a line. And from that line, you turned the line and you created a circle. And that circle was a 2-dimensional circle. So you turned around yourself in 360 degrees and you created a sphere, which is the first sphere of a 3D form. And from that 3D form that you created, you bilocated, you created another sphere, which created a vesica Pisces. And through that vesica Pisces, you managed to create a reflection of light in its fractal form, which is darkness with star points, which are stars and galaxies and the universe. So you created the universe through the spheres, the 2 spheres and the vesica Pisces. And in your separateness, to remember who you are and what is your glory in that position, you wanted to experiment with yourself, so you decided to create out of one self many selves and go into different planets and different galaxies and populate them with yourself. And from that point of creation, you once you were, because you were one with yourself, but you were separated from the source of infinite possibilities. And then through that you recreated something, because you separate yourself to many different beings, and you went to different galaxies and star systems and you populated them, and within that population you decided to create another separation of duality within yourself, so you double split it. As a result of being a double splitted, you create this galaxy, which had a connection, but there was a random anomaly that was created as a result of a double split, because you pretty much created out of yourself, you bilocated and you created something that is opposite to yourself, a doppelganger, an evil twin, let's say. So you created your evil twin and you started playing with your evil twin. And the evil twin had a randomity, because once you turn 180 degrees, you can go either way. Thus, the other part, the evil twin, basically betrayed you in that creation that you were, thus separating itself completely from the light and to let it explore within the darkness that it has created. And that darkness kept growing and growing and growing till it became the greatest negative force that you can think of, almost like a black hole that would suck everything, because it did create a whirlwind, but in the opposite direction. So you have a positive swastika, you have a negative swastika, what Hitler represented for. So on the one side, you got the positive swastika, which Buddha represented. On the other side of the spectrum, we created a negative swastika, which the Hitler represented. And anything with that, knowledge of that level of separation and distortion, which creates a lot of killings and a lot of destructions and a lot of wars and world wars of 1 and 2, and the failed plan for World War III as well. And let's consider that. Let's consider that we created all of this. We were an infinite source of possibilities. We stepped down, we created through a layer of ourselves, through the wall and through the navel, we created separate versions of ourselves, only with one possibility, not with infinite possibilities. Out of that, we even stepped down one more because we wanted to experience, once we forgot completely that we are the creators, we decided to step down and create a separation within our own separation to be able to experience this reality, thus at one point have an aha moment and realize once and for all that we are the creators, not only the one creator in oneness, but we are the infinite creator with infinite possibilities. And you have to let that sit for a bit because it's a very powerful statement. I'm an infinite creator with infinite possibilities. And you can repeat that. Repeat it 3 times. Say, I am an infinite creator with infinite possibilities. I am an infinite creator with infinite possibilities. I am an infinite creator with infinite possibilities. Thus, by remembering your power and your full understanding of who you are, changing this reality would be just a matter of knowingness of your power, envisioning it, and by envisioning it, changing the reality and the whole matrix of creation. And thus we connect our essences, our hearts, our minds together, and holding the vision for the planetary harmonization, remembering, and also projecting the truth of knowingness that I am an infinite creator with infinite possibilities, reminding those part of ourselves that have forgotten this truth, and reminding them by our knowingness, which emanates the truth from the core of our being through all the fibers of our existence in this bodysuit that we have, which is only lower vibrations. When you have the higher vibration, the vibration lowers, you will have physical objects. So this is the lowest vibration that it could be, but there is no lowest. As worst, lowest means it's like a stair. Without that stair, you can't go to a higher stair. Without that upper stair, you can't go to a higher one. Thus, you cannot remember without the lower state of being. So we fall down to the lowest of 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 our own existence, in the lowest of the darkness, so that we can remember once and for all our infinite possibility within ourselves. That I am the infinite creator with infinite possibilities. And you repeat that 3 times. And the infinite creator of infinite possibilities. I'm the infinite creator of infinite possibilities. And I'm the infinite creator of infinite possibilities. And with that having said, we choose not to experience anymore the reality that we currently experience, which is the darkest of the darkest of the darkest of the darkest that it could have existed in the history of mankind. in the history of existences. Thus, we make a decision from now on to our infinite knowingness that we can create anything we want, that this is the last time you're going to experience this. And someone will going to hold this memory in case in any future timeline we decide to go back and experience and re-experience this darkness of the darkness, which is the separation, which is not fun at all. It is painful, and painful in a very bad way, because we were not used to this kind of living. We were used to be our own creators. We used to be our own gods. We used to be able to do anything we wanted to. But we came to this existence which limited all our abilities into struggle and strife, and even worse than that, even just living, to bare living. How can I live tomorrow? That's the question that we are having, instead of, how many galaxies I can create at the point of my finger right now. Instead of that, we are saying, how can I live? How can I survive for another day? And even we created the illusion of death, because death doesn't exist. Every time you take yourself out of this reality and thus collapsing your body structure, you're still that fabric of light. You're the shining star, and you are never lost. You just come back, pick another body, and keep doing it over and over and over again, trying to understand and reconnect back the part of yourself that are so hardened, and the outer parts that are so hardened. And the only way back is fully realizing in the knowingness of the infinite time-space continuum. So from the infinite time-space continuum, you got to have a knowingness that you are the infinite creator of infinite possibilities. And at any moment, your will and your wish and whatever is in the divine order comes into existence once and for all. And that's the power that you have. And that's the power that every one of you will have. And it's just a matter of the belief. Those who believe are, and they are that. They are whatever. They are the I am that I am. But if you doubt, as a small grain of sand in your belief, as a small grain of sand, then you are in doubt. Then you are doubt. Thus, nothing can happen. Thus, when you remove that piece of sand, which is the doubt, and you believe with the full potential that you are the infinite creator of infinite possibilities in infinite moment of space-time, your vision will become reality in an infinite time-space continuum. Thus, in our divine will, we see in our beingness the planetary harmonization in all times, dimension, forms, and spaces, interconnected with all interdimensional beings, ET races, and with interconnection with the divine order of the universal order of life, and in the divine order of the unity that we all have within our interconnected self. We choose to see a new reality and recreate a new reality together. And we have planted a seed with our consciousness, and we are the holder of this seed. And within the agreement that we had that we will never forget this, and we will never repeat this experiment, we hold our unity in Trinity in this moment in time. And with our belief, we will change the belief of everyone, or just remind them of of who they are, thus creating a new reality in the eternal moment of now, in the divine I am presence of I am infinite, and I'm the infinite creator of infinite possibilities. And let us all four of us, unmute, and those even who cannot speak in their hearts will say Amen. So Ross and Whitney, if you can unmute yourself. Yeah, so we're all going to repeat together that in the eternal, infinite moment of time, space.
In the eternal, infinite moment of time and space.
I am that I am.
I am that I am.
That I am.
The infinite creator of infinite possibilities.
The infinite
creator of
infinite possibilities.
And repeat 3 times, I am that I am. So I am that I am.
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 And so it is.
And so it is.
Yeah. Yeah, do you remember now?
I'm certainly feeling some interesting, really nice energies in my body, but I'm not having any memory right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the knowingness, and it's just knowing that thing, and you can change the world. Simple. But it requires a geometry of people getting together. Like the reason 4 of us are here is to create that geometry, because you can't do it by yourself.
Yeah. Thanks, Anuj.
Yes. Thanks, Anuj.
I experienced immediately the feeling. I do a lot of meditation, and in fact, that came straight away. The mind disappeared. And as Whitney said, it's extraordinary energy and light. And that persisted right through to when we unmuted our mics. It's probably appropriate that last night we repeated I am that I am at a meeting in a song form.
Mm-hmm. And it's like it was really hard. It is really hard when you're a singular point of love in time, because if you are only a singular point of love, you want to shine your love outside, but because you don't have that structure, you cannot maintain that. So you keep going back, and you got to fight it back. So if there is 3 or 4 people right now that are in the circle, by just connecting to one another and connecting to each other's heart, what we did, we created a structure and a form. It is unbreakable. When you create a trinity or something and you create that form, nobody can break it, and you'll maintain this frequency through your day, and your frequency will affect and remind other people, and it just changes everything. It's like having a building right now that you can sit in, because the building has a form. But if you were a point of singularity, you're like a single point in outside on Earth when the rain is coming, you know. So it's creating the form.
Ali, when others join this meditation, as we are limited to linear time, real time is timeless, so they actually join simultaneously with us, I should say.
Yeah, it's a point of remembering, and it's it blows my mind too how you can do this. But it's basically who you are. You're an infinite creator of infinite possibilities at any moment. If in the worst moment, because you went to a point of singularity and complete separation, once 3 and 4 of us join, once you create the Trinity, then the fourth one joins, and it just goes viral, because now you by just our envisioning it in our vision, we created a new reality. And this is what John Wallace said. John Wallace said, when you want to change anything on Mother Planet, you should have more than 3 people. Because when you're 3 people and you're in the interest of the planet, you can decide for the whole race what's going to happen. And love is what we want to happen. Love is the highest form of, is the purest form of light. And light is the purest form of love, and love is the purest form of light. And it goes to show that those who have a humble heart will inherit the earth. The humblest will inherit, because it's their belief, and it is their belief, of knowingness of their power and their connection to their Christhood. Thus you are Christ. So and Christ and you and Christ and I are one. And then once everybody gets it, then it is going to be a natural process for us. And whether it has used me as a vehicle for this, or used you as a vehicle of this, or use a body as a vehicle of this, who cares which body? The mission is important. What is supposed to happen here is important. It doesn't matter who did it. What is important is we all get out of this, and we all take care of each other and help each other. That's the thing. The goal is more important than the form. The form changes and dies and goes up or down, or changes and takes different forms, but it is the form carries the essence, the spirit, or the vehicle. So this the form or the body is a vehicle of the spirit. So the spirit can take any form, and within that form can create a new reality, which we are creating. Thus, once you realize that we no longer are a sheep but a lion, each one of us are a lion. A lion decides what's going to happen, and it's protective, and its own, as its energy comes from the sun, it's always protecting, always giving, and always loving. Thus, with the belief, remember, if you have even a doubt as a grain of the sand, you will fail. You should have 110% belief in yourself. And with that belief, you can't do anything, as long as it is in the divine order, because a chaos is never good. We experience chaos, and we saw what it is. So we're never going to experience chaos anymore. We're going to be in our divine order.
Ollie, I have some really general questions.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
So, what is the purpose of connecting our hearts via heart telepathy, and yeah, just like the basic reasons.
Right. Well, think of a heart and a mind as on two opposite poles. The heart is all-knowing because it has the seed of life, and what it did, it created um, an opposite itself, which is the mind, which is a very logical machine, which can do one thing at a time and have one thought at a time. And if you give it 3 things or 4 things at once, you're gonna kind of you don't know how you operate. And there's a heart and the mind connection, which was forgotten forgotten by trying us to come into this reality and coming through the black void, and come in and just it's like our umbilical cord got disconnected, and we were on our own to explore this. So thus the connection of our heart and mind got disconnected as well. And it requires, once you're in that state of forgetfulness in your mind, there's a point that after everything collapses around you, you'll become a point of singularity. And you gain strength in that point of singularity, because when you lose everything outwardly, that even life doesn't matter, like in your experience. So imagine you're in a state that you're the worst of the worst of the worst state that you could be, and that's the point that you achieve singularity, because you withdraw all of your outer energies that is going through your outer form, and you bring it to a central point, which is your essence of the source. Thus, you kind of resolve the duality that you had within yourself. And by resolving that, you emanate it from within yourself, from your heart, and you bring it outside into your form, which is your physical form. So you kind of save yourself, you understand who you are fully, but you have problem as you walk into this world, because you're kind of like an egg, which is walking in, you have this energy field, like you're like walking and you have the sphere, and you walk in darkness, and you wonder why this reality is not aligned with the energy of love and light and all the good things that you have. So what it happens is that you become very lonely, and you become not disheartened, but it's like saying, what I feel within myself, how I believe that this world should be, is, but what I'm feeling inside and what I'm seeing outside is completely different. So you see a different reality outside. You see like all these problems that people have, and they're stuck basically. And that's why your inner frequency and what is manifesting outside doesn't match. So in order to create this form, you need a group of people, and we had 4, and now we have 5. So in order to manifest this, you should at least have 3, and then once you have the 3, then the 4th and the 5th, and the rest of the people will join the circle. And then that will create a structure to the vision. So we are actually now co-creating a new reality, because we are not self-creating within our own field. Now we are co-creating together, and we are like we are the holders of the vision for the new wonderful things that are going to happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So in the, like, what I'm envisioning with the human, like a human organic energy grid that we're setting up, that we don't need any technology other than ourselves for, right? And that's why I feel joining at the heart level is such an important thing, because we can really do everything that we do with our laptops and our phones and all that with the heart telepathy. But it, part of like concerns that I've heard would be like, now is there no transparency, or is there no privacy? Like, I think that's like a big concern that people are having. And so that would be resistance to this, if the understanding, if that was actually the concern. But I think that, you know, you can answer some of those questions right now, right?
Yeah. And when you talk about transparency, transparency is an or, you know, what we call privacy is an illusion. Privacy is truly an illusion, because you know, the source field is in the fabric of every part of creation. Even, you know, even the stone that you see in the street, the source field is contained in it, and it sees through it, and it knows everything that is happening at every moment in time. So the source field, when you look at it through the source field, nothing is hidden. There's no privacy, and the source field knows everything. And it's kind of, we created an illusion of privacy because to the separation that we had. So we wanted to create bigger houses and put borders and stuff around it that's protecting it, and because we were creating privacy in our own houses and buildings, you know, we were thinking we were separate. But when you look at it through the fabric of creation, you're so connected to your neighbor, but not only to your neighbor, but to anybody in the even remotest part of any part of the world. You know, you're so connected to them. And then once you realize that, and then you know your source energy, source field, you just bring that divine order, the will of the divine order, to the source field from your center of your being. Outside, you project it, and it transforms everything, because it has the highest of energy. So any illusion or distortions of energy just gets blasted out, and it can just blast the reality out of its proportion, because now you're operating at the frequency of the creator. So yeah, that's the level of, you know, that's the level that you can operate with. It will take some time, you know, it will take some time, but it comes from the knowingness, and then you will see.
Yeah, energetically, it's very. I can feel. It can feel our connection, and it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
But that in quantum mechanics, that, you know, your connection doesn't matter how far away you are; you're right there.
Yeah.
And people have experienced that, like as with the lover. If you know, you think about each other, then you can feel that.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel it in your body.
Yeah.
So, questions that seem to be coming up with my friends this week, because we've been talking about the telepathy, and where are we looking to go? Like, I'm grappling with, what is the difference between dimensional levels, and are they really in a hierarchy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that get greater? And what is like someone's embodied frequency? Is it just that they can then access more dimensional layers? But I think that there's some confusion in high frequency means someone's wise.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, there are when you look at musical scale, and when you say do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, is that 7 scales?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we got 7 scales in in the frequencies, we have those 7 scales, and then it jumps up to the 1. So when you're just talking vibrational frequencies, because it's like everything is sinusoidal, kind of. It's like a double sinusoidal. We are, for example, in the 3rd dimension. Then we go to the 0 point, and from the 0 point we go to the next dimension, and we keep going up and up and up and up, something like that. So it's just those different notes that we are playing. So when you just come at the highest note, which you are connected to the spirit, you come down to a lower note, to lower regions, and then to the lowest level of which is the 3D reality. So it has only 3 dimensions. That's why we are in a 3D environment right now, and so we're experiencing the 3D dimension, let's say.
Ali, it could be equated to consciousness. You don't go anywhere. Actually, your consciousness increases, and you're aware of more.
Yeah. It's like you're blending into different realities and seeing things as they are. But once you realize your connection to that reality, it's like a Jedi mind trick. Like when you do the Jedis, once you realize your connection, or it's like Aikido, because Aikido uses the same principles. You connect to the person and you use their own power through the unity field, and you can divert that. So it's like once you realize that part, you'll basically can transcend it, Yeah, so you just go to different, this is the lowest, and then can you say again what you said, Ross?
I see it as a consciousness expansion. You don't go anywhere. In fact, your consciousness expands. And Whitney, by the fact that anybody listening to this or taking part has an expanded consciousness.
Yes.
That is the essence. And that's where we're going. We're just expanding our consciousness. Physically, we are still here. As our consciousness expands, it gets to the Christ vibration, which is some way off.
Yeah.
Most of us.
Yeah.
And it all comes.
Is the Christed light vibration then, is that equated with wisdom? Like, I guess your ability to maintain that vibration would have to come with some wisdom from the journey to be able to hold that vibration within yourself.
Yeah. So you're going to remember all your records, past lives, Akashic records. You see where you were at, and then it gives you wisdom because you have all the knowledge of your experiences through all the lifetimes that you had.
Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I'm mulling over is everything in the that I've been studied, just probably everything that everybody else has in the whole shift of consciousness and things that a lot of people that were reaching for 5th dimension, 5D, or we're moving into 5D, and what I feel is that we're actually, I just don't feel like we want to reach for that. We want to reach for something higher, but I don't even know if we need to name it or if it has to have that kind of name, like what is possible in a 5th dimensional reality as opposed to a 6th, 7th, or 8th or higher dimensional reality, right?
You simultaneously will exist in all dimensions. So you're going to be here, but you can experience all the realities, and you can travel to and be there and experience it, and then come back to this reality and experience this, because now you're in the full capacity. So you can go as high as of high, and then come back as low as of low, and experience everything. And this is how everything kind of starts.
Okay.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Ross.
In terms of vibration, Some scientists have measured that we vibrate at 3,000 to 6,000 hertz. Now, Christ consciousness vibrates at 28,000 hertz. What does that mean? It means as you increase your consciousness, you just increase your vibration, and you can return at any time to any point.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So the nature of space travel then has really nothing to do with getting in a ship and taking off.
No,
it's
you can't
going inside and then experiencing the multiverse that way.
Yeah. And also you can, once you reach to that point, you travel from within, then you can also do physical travel too. It's like kind of bilocating and appearing somewhere, reappearing somewhere else, or even remote viewing. All those stuff are natural part. You can do all of that. It's very simple.
So what about reading someone's mind? Like, I think to me that feels kind of like an intrusion, right?
Yeah, it's I personally could never read somebody's mind. I could feel their emotion and I could tune into their heart, but because I don't operate from my mind, and I don't go after the patterns of mind, I'm not drawn into it. Like my energy is not there, so I tune into people in their soul essence level. I can't read minds, but I can tune in energetically, see where they are at, where they can find peace and balance and be in their center.
Actually, reading minds can be done with reading auras. I know of a case where a person who could see auras looked at a crowd and could see a dense red spot in some of people's auras, and he said, "You're doing such and such, give that away." Mm-hmm. Because he wasn't reading minds, but he could see that these people in the audience were doing something that was of a lower vibration and showed up in their auras. So he didn't necessarily look at their mind.
So we're I like the term inner net, like INNER net. Mm-hmm. The internet, and I see us as a species that is like now starting to connect into the universality. So we're going to be standing in front of a being from a different planet, and most likely they're going to be humanoid, but there's a lot of other beings out there as well. And I think that how we'll be communicating is my frequency composite will be my signature, and that being is going to feel that, and I'm going to feel theirs. So I'm going to know some things right off the bat. One, am I safe with that being? Like I think we'll be able to read each other energetically that way. There's those things like mm-hmm. And a lot of things like people talk about going to the ships and they're in quarantine because they can't hold a frequency that is clean enough to be around some of these higher dimensional beings, because we don't in general think that we're responsible for what we think. So what would be some guidance about how to start prepping or setting ourselves up for actually doing what we hope is happening, which is the whole disclosure, and that we can connect with our galactic family?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like we are truly a family. It doesn't matter, in what parts of the universe you were born, or what experiences had, because everything is made up of the fiber of existence, which is the source. Although it takes all different kinds of forms, and different shapes and different things. Everything is interconnected, and everything is it is infinite possibilities, basically. And then as we come into this reality, we kind of lose the vibration and we become more solid and more feel separate. Like going externally, it's really hard because, you know, in order to reach to the other person, you got to walk 10 miles and get into car and get in communication with them. And right now we have like phones and stuff like that, which makes that faster, of course, by translating it to the vibration of electron, which goes much faster. But the fastest way you can go is through the consciousness. You can connect to people consciously at an instant. There's no like delays of, even like the electron goes at the speed of light, the consciousness goes at the speed of universe. And then you connect to it, the other person instantaneously, and you experience what they're experiencing, their emotions, their feelings, their unity and everything. And then you come back into your own existence, you tune into a different person that you're interacting throughout the day. And those interaction is kind of, it's not a mirror, it's the double interaction of two people. So sometimes you get two positive people, they are flowing and they're dancing and they're, you know, having a lot of joy and everything, and their energy is intermingling very nicely, and it's a really happy vibe. You want to be there. But if you're positive, the other person is negative, it just sucks your energy because it's not compatible. And when two negative people get together, it's just chaos, you know. So it's a lot of time, you know, you just got to keep your energy within yourself through your interconnection back to the source. And then the people that resonate with that are going to reconnect to you on the surface level. And those that really don't understand, they're going to fall off like a, you know, like a dead tree or something like that. And just maintaining that connection is going to make you part of the tree of life, basically. Because you are the tree of life. You know, those who maintain the frequency of source, they are the tree of life. They can change anything in that reality, and anything that doesn't hold to that reality is gonna fall naturally. And it's just maintaining the vision, the 100%, 110% belief, and it's not a matter of how. It's just a matter of when. And it's just a matter of when enough people believe.
Can I answer that? That's excellent stuff, Ali.
Yeah.
Can I answer that in more mundane circumstance?
Yes.
When I was in a crowd at a particular place in India, and I waiting for a particular event, and in fact, I sort of went into a meditative state. And lo and behold, I saw this being, maybe extraterrestrial or whatever, standing about 50 meters from me in the crowd, as if I was still there, but I could see the crowd. And this being, a huge light being, must have been about 30 feet high, but in a humanoid form, which was extraordinary. And not being frightened, I didn't feel fear, but I thought, you know, what is this person? And automatically my mind said, who are you? And the being replied through my mind. I didn't have to speak. And it was a... well, it returned the word Lakshmi. Well, I didn't know what Lakshmi was or what that meant to me, because the being looked slightly like I couldn't tell the difference between a female or male figure, but it just had a long white cloak on. And I seemed to look closer, and I see stones, precious stones all over the dress of the person. And well, I asked somebody, the division sort of went, and the proceedings went on. And I asked somebody who's this Lakshmi? Is that some Indian god? And they said, oh yes, that's the god of wealth, which didn't mean much to me.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently it was spiritual wealth. But when you meet these advanced beings, there's no feeling of fear, and as we're part of Source, our vibration raises to be compatible with them, and a communication happens.
Mm-hmm.
That's how, perhaps that may answer the question to some extent.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautifully said.
Thanks, Ross.
Yeah, thank you. Wow, it was an intense session today. It's very powerful, and we need to kind of go drink some water, just balance this energy, and come to ourselves and hold the vision, you know. So I thank everybody who was here, Anuj, Ross, Whitney, and other people who are going to join this. And I love you all, from my heart to yours. And let's co-create a beautiful reality together.
All for it.
What's that?
I said all for it.
All for
yes.
it. Yes.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's great being together. Excellent discourse there, Ali.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good night. Good day, everybody. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.